People say we're now living in 1984, but I think Brave New World is a much more accurate and scarier prediction that compares to today of all the dystopic greats. And I think there's actually a different type of sci-fi that is more representative of today. Let's get into it. 1984 is a prodigious work of science fiction. I think it's one of the best books ever published in the 20th century. It is a landmark achievement in dystopic fiction, and it tells us the extremes of what an authoritarian society can look like. It tells us about central economic planning. It tells us about state surveillance, about the destruction of the family, about atomization of the individual, of the person, of the self, about destroying the economy, surplus economy to keep class stratification of your social class. It talks about the aristocracy. It talks about how there's a middle class that you keep just without a reach of the aristocracy to continue that stratification. And then it's also a really good story about Winston. It's emotional, it's heart-wrenching, it's depressing. It's one of the best books I've ever read. Brave New World also has an aristocratic element to it. It also has steep social stratification. But in Brave New World, it's done by eugenics. The social classes are genetically engineered to be that way. They're fated to be that way. A big difference with Brave New World, a big departure, is that instead of using state violence, which is there, the state still has a monopoly over the social order and violence and information, just like in 1984. But a big difference in Brave New World is that they use the decadence of entertainment and the decadence of pharmaceuticals to pacify the people into submission. That is one of the main differences with Brave New World in 1984. In 1984, you can't find a book. You can't read books. They're illegal. You can't write. You can't put your thoughts down. Nothing like that. You have the illegality of books. Brave New World, books aren't illegal. People just don't care about reading anymore. There are books, but no one cares because they're so distracted by the pleasures and entertainment and pharmaceuticals of the society. That is one of the fundamental differences between these two books. Which to you is sounding more like it mirrors today, 1984 or Brave New World? Another major theme between the two books is a destruction of the nuclear family. Traditional family is destroyed. In Brave New World, it's like taboo to be a mother, to have children. And in 1984, there is no family. It's Big Brother, that's your family. What do we have today? We absolutely have a fracturing and atomization of our families wrought by the corporate state. We're basically engineered to become workers and to pay other people to raise our children so that we can go to work, so that we can come home and go to bed and wake up and do the same thing. We have a fracturing of our communities and our families today, 100%. It is done more by private and corporate means. It's not so direct as in 1984 Brave New World, but we definitely have that mirror going on. A more scary thing that's actually happening in our society beyond Brave New World is we have the decadence of pleasure and the decadence of entertainment and things like that. But we now, with social media, have the decadence of reality making. People create their own realities and they live in their siloed off realities. And that is the biggest distraction and the biggest tool of manipulation that I don't think either George Orwell and Huxley could have predicted. What I'm describing here, the ability to make our own realities, we're awash in information. We can't understand the information that's coming to us. No human mind is capable of understanding the realities and the information that comes through our screens every single day. What am I describing here? Living in a corporate state where parliamentary politics is now weakened and we're basically bred to be workers. What am I describing? Cyberpunk. It's cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is the most predictive dystopic fiction that there is that mirrors what's going on right now. You read Snow Crash, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, Ubik, anything by Philip K. Dick. All of those books are about anarcho-capitalist societies. And cyberpunk most closely, unfortunately, mirrors our current day society. It is very important to read all dystopic works. 1984, Brave New World, Handmaid Tale, all the cyberpunk works. The list goes on. Farenheit 451 is very important to have a lens with which we can understand our society. I'll wrap it up. You can take a look at my website. It's wickwilliker.com. I am a sci-fi author. You can check out my stuff, no pressure. I'm also a medical doctor. I do a podcast called ICU Doc Talk. I talk about anesthesiology and intensive care and heart surgery and lots of intense things like that. I also talk about books on my podcast, fiction, nonfiction, economics, politics, sci-fi, fantasy. Check it out if you would like. Subscribe. I'll see you next time. Thank you.